am your host, Gian. We have my guest host, Bree, at the bottom. I know she was excited for this. And our guest, our very, very special guest, Megan McGlover.
Miss Megan's in the house.
What's going on, people? What's going on? Thank you so much for having me. I sure do appreciate it. I'm always humbled whenever anyone, wants to interview me. So I thank you very much for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Of course, it's an honor on our end as well. And we would like for you to give kind of a backstory of from where you were to where you are now, because a lot of people are probably either just discovering you or have discovered you, during these times that we're in. But kind of give some people like an insight on where you used to be to where you got to where you are now.
Just to be an a-hole right from the gate, you are always where you were, mm-hmm. And you are always going to be where you're getting to, So I think that the way that this all started as it pertains to the internet, right? So before the internet, I was raised an oratorical speaker. I'm a third generation orator in my family. My mother taught me, and my mother's mother, my grandmother taught her. And so speaking has always been a thing. Internet, however, started, I am born and raised in Southern California. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, the end of 2010. And in December of 2010, the weather was getting crazy, but in particular, in January of 2011, that crazy storm happened in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And my family, who was, still in Southern California, I moved there by myself. So my mother, my sisters, and stuff like that, calling me, asking me, "Oh my God, what's going on with the weather? Are you okay?" And laughing at me because they were like, "Oh, you were in Southern California, now you're over there freezing." And so I said, "Listen, I'm not going to be doing all this back and forth, calling people. I'll just put a weather report on my YouTube channel for my family." Mm-hmm. It wasn't for the world. It was just for my family. So I kind of just made up a weather channel, which was WMLM. Somebody's put it on there. Oh, that's awesome. WMLM, Megan Lene McGlover. And I had my own weather channel. And then I would talk about whatever was going on in Atlanta at the time. And that blew up. It went viral. I was all over the place. Like, people all over the world were watching these YouTubes. And love you long, love you strong. That's so awesome, but don't be stupid. Yes. So that's how it started. Then in 2012, a tragedy struck and my mother was murdered. And so I just stopped doing videos because, of course, nothing was funny after that. It was just like, And so I stopped doing the videos. But then I was like, you know what, my mother loved my videos. She was my #1 fan. I mean, she just was like, "Oh my goodness, Megan, you gotta do these videos. You gotta, so I kept hearing her voice and I said, okay, I'm gonna get back to doing it. But I was no longer doing weather. I no longer lived in Atlanta. And the weather wasn't really for the people of the world anyway. It was really just, for my family or whatever. So I just kind of got into world events and more so events that affected me personally and my friends and family, my clients, stuff like that. So that's kind of where it started and kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about your mother. That's not, that's horrible when these things occur. There's been a lot of losses, period, within these couple of years. And I think that's one reason why a lot of people gravitate towards a platform like yours, because, you're a real individual, and what we see in the mainstream media and all this is not our reality. And, there's a couple of questions on that I want to get to as well eventually, but I'll go ahead and pass it over to Bree. But before I do that, Long Journey is finally in the chat. This is my co-host, LJ at the bottom. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to you, Bree.
Nice to meet you too.
So I just wanted to piggyback a little bit. I am so happy to be on this live with you, Miss Megan. I have been watching you for quite some time, and you have really encouraged me to speak out, to be bold in what I believe. As melanated people, we're kind of told that we should have this mind frame and that we should
Wait a minute,
operate.
Bria. Wait, Bria. I saw you on a live with Blanche. You can, because I'm recognizing your voice, and I'm like, no, I can. I've heard this girl before. Yes, yes, I see you. You were on his live. Sometimes he just lets people in or whatever. And you guys were talking, and then there was another guy. I know this is not what we're talking about, but that's okay. And there was another guy who came in, and he was talking to Blanche about what kind of car he drives or something like that. And then you kept coming, and you were like, well, why won't he answer the question? But he won't answer the question. Yes, I think that. Go, Bree, go, Bree, go. Okay.
Yes, I'm very straight to the point type of person. If I ask you a question, I want to know the answer. It's pretty simple for me. But you guys really have encouraged me. You really have encouraged me. You break that mold of what it should look like to be, I guess if you want to say a Black conservative, right? Like we're told that if we're Black, we should have to be Democrat and we should have this certain mind frame. And when I saw you and I saw your life and I saw the way that you spoke, I'm like, this is brilliant. She is nothing like what we're told that we should be. She's outspoken. She says what she feels. She makes no mistakes about it. And she's unapologetic. And that's what I love the most. You do not make any apologies for what she said. And that is so beautiful. And your lifestyle, I really do like it a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to LJ. That way he can finish us up.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing, Megan? I myself am from Southern California, so I definitely can just relate to all the craziness going on around here and why you would want to get up out of here.
I don't live there anymore.
Yeah,
I don't live in
I know. I'm working on that myself, and I'm just I really appreciate you coming on because I wanted to ask you a few questions soon as we get into the topics, I'm sure. But I just wanted to introduce myself and let you know that I am a fan of your work.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you guys so much. Every one of you guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. We appreciate you too and just being here and giving us the time. And so while we have the time, we wanna get through a couple of things, but normally how our structure is, we normally have the viewers put some questions down in the question section that we ask you for them. And then we'll normally bring somebody on to ask you some questions for maybe about roughly 10 minutes. I don't know how much time we have to do that, so we're going to try to get through a couple of these as fast as we possibly can because we like to give everybody a voice. And, a lot of people have things to say. A lot of people are going to have questions for you. So we would like to give them that opportunity. But if we don't get to it today, then it's perfectly fine. You're always welcome on, of course. So the
Well, I'm
first
usually
thing.
long-winded, but I'll be very concise today because we want to keep your formation the same way you had it. Okay, so I'm gonna be short. I'm gonna be condensed. Okay,
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
long-winded as hell. But you go. Okay, go.
All right. So the first thing I want to get into, because this is very, very recent, is the State of the Union. Now, you recently put up a video that I watched. I believe Bree watched. I'm not sure if LJ had any time to watch, but you went into a lot of stuff, and anyone who's paid attention to it would probably just sit in there scratching their head. And what I gathered from this, and what I want to know what you saw this as, was what I gathered was it was pretty much a discussion, not even a discussion, I would say more like a game plan of Great Reset, New World Order, regurgitated Trump stuff that has already been done. This is what I saw it as. So from your perspective, in conclusion, about as concise as you said as you could put it, what did you see this as?
Okay, so the bottom line is, so I did a live commentary throughout the whole State of the Union. Okay, so you can see it on my YouTube channel, McGloverable, if you want to watch the whole thing. Okay, and I'm talking to the whole damn thing. So, so you can get my opinion on that. But basically, all this was a campaign speech. He was basically rerunning for the midterm votes that are coming in. Okay, this is nothing but a bunch of hot air, fluff, smoke up the rear type of speech. It was what we're going to do, what we can do, what we envision to do. Oh, we got to pass some more things so that we can do. It was nothing concrete at all. There were no absolutes of any kind. There were no absolutes. It was, I need you so that I can put in another bill, another act, another this, another that. But as a president who is already president, he was not saying anything that he was absolutely going to do. He was yet again saying, I need your votes. I need your help. We have already helped you, huh? Well, not we. Y'all have already helped them, already helped you. If you don't, you have more Dems in office. You got the Senate, you got the House, you got the, what is the problem? You still running around here talking about, I need this and I need that. Oh, honey, they're only doing that while they're sitting up there cheering USA, 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 when you condemned the United States of America and said it was a racist shithole, basically. Now you're going to sit up here and say, Viva la America. Viva la America. No. You're only doing that because they have screwed up so bad. Now, when the mids come in, the votes for the middle of the year come in, they know they're going to lose. So now they're trying to just literally, this little piece of paper that they got. They're trying to grab this little piece right here and make $1 out of 15 cents. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Period. That's what I thought. What do y'all think?
I mean, I would definitely say that it was damage control, because if you look at what they said, they were literally painting murals all over our countries and cities of defund the police. Now he goes back and says that we need to fund the police. So a lot of what he was saying, literally, he was doing damage control, because like you said, it's true, they're going to lose. And come 2024, there's no way in anybody's right mind are they going to vote Democrat. I live currently in a heavy Democratic population. I think it's 90% of our people are Democrat. Do you know how many people just got elected to be in Congress that are Republicans? The numbers were mind-blowing, because people are taking a look around at the agenda, and the agenda is so far left that we're going to look worse than Venezuela in a couple of years. So people are taking a look at this and they're saying, oh my gosh, this is worse than what we thought it was. You have a man that's had over 40 years to complete this agenda that he's talking about. So I want to know what happened between your first 20 years and 30 years that you did not do what you said that you're going to do for the people of the United States. And you were vice president, right, for 2 terms under our first Black president, and you did not accomplish any of this. And you're going to tell me that you need another 4 years to get this done? It sounds like a scam to me.
Well, it's ring around the rosy. It's ring around the rosy. Pocket full of posies. Yep. That's all it is. Yep. I agree with you.
Go ahead,
LJ. Yeah, I peeped out some of that. I just think you can't start a big enough fire and then tell the firefighters, no, we don't need your help. And then once the shit starts bursting out of control, you just come back and be like, oh, hey, it's me again. I need your help. You know what I mean? It's like they're really out here trying to cause all this damage, and then they want you to come help them put the shit out as if it was your fault. And that's something that I've been learning about the Democrats, is that they're just full of make-believe bullshit. They're going to keep telling you everything you want to hear, and then when it comes down to it, they're going to put all that responsibility on your ass. They're not going to do it. They're going to make sure that you do it.
And you know what? You are so right, because this is what's going to happen. And this is going to sting. I mean, when I tell you it's going to burn, it's like having a gash in your leg and somebody pouring alcohol. This is what's getting ready to happen. $350 billion, he said he wants to put back into the police department. Do you think that they're going to spend that $350 billion going through lawsuits for police brutality? They are not. They're getting ready to spend that $350 billion looking at every single video of every single theft. They're coming to get your tail. I'm telling you now. They are going to come and get every single person that spray painted, was hitting people over the head, was going into Louis store, Gucci store. They're going to come get your tail. Because now all of a sudden, the government, the president administration is going to back the blue. And once they back the blue, you thought you was getting your tail whipped, or you really gonna get whipped down. Because now all that spitting in the police officers' faces that you was doing, all that talking about F the police, F-112, all that stuff, they're gonna come get you. They're going to come and get you. And I promise you, when they come and get you, they're gonna do you just like they kept doing Epstein and Epstein's friends. All of a sudden the cameras are off. All the cameras are off. That's how they're gonna do you. You're gonna wake up with a busted lip when you see Jesus. I'm telling you, that's how they're gonna get you. And then you think they're gonna put $350 billion in there for you to sue them for black this and black that? They're gonna come get your black tail and put you right in the jail with somebody's foot on your neck. Don't call me because I already told you. Next question.
So that was a good way to bring it home. But back really on the State of the Union, you had put up a clip on your page recently that was really directed towards us melanated people who you pretty much went into the fact that nothing was said about what can be done to help our community, basically. And which is 100% obviously the truth. But the thing, my whole perspective on it is the fact that we already knew this. The ones who were already awake knew this already. And we were telling people for the longest, they are not there to help you. This is not what they're trying to do. And back to what I was talking about, what I gathered from the State of the Union campaign speech, as you say, is a push for Great Reset, New World Order type of policies and agenda, such as the whole green stuff. You know, everything needs to go green, electric cars, and let's get rid of gas. I mean, with Biden, approving the Russian pipeline, removing us from being energy independent is not pro-America. It's not America first, No. And so with all of that being said, when it comes to our community, what do you see happening regarding us moving forward in this state that we're in?
Well, I've said this before, but probably not on live like this. I don't know, maybe I have, but I've definitely said it to friends and family. I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. There has to be, they're doing the Great Reset. Black folk need to do the Great Separation. Black people within Black people need to separate. Because the truth of the matter is that there are some melanated people that cannot come. Period. And I'm not going to negotiate my safety, my health, my sanity, my children, my family, my wife, my this and the other, because your ignorant tail want to still run around here listening to crazy ass rap music and killing each other and talking about F the police. I don't have time for that anymore. If you have not awakened from this wokeness by now, you can't come over here. Period. You can't sit with us. That's it. There has to be that, because this idea that we must unify with knuckleheads has been the problem from the very beginning. Who killed Malcolm X? Somebody Black. Who killed Martin Luther King? Who set him up? Somebody Black. Every time you turn around, somebody is infiltrating what is going to put us forward, and it's already somebody that look like you. We have to be more protective of ourselves and those who we cherish. This idea of unified it only works if we're unifying on the same playing field, on the same level. If you want what I want, I want what you want. We're going to get this thing together. We are trying to educate ourselves. We want to listen to each other. You don't have to be a conservative. You don't have to be a Republican. You don't have to be a Democrat. You can be a liberal. You can be a nonpartisan. You can be whatever it is that you want. As long as what you want is safety, education, the ability to raise your children the way that you want, the ability to worship your God or no God at all, whatever it is that you want to do, and the ability to pay a fair tax, okay? The ability to life, liberty, justice, and freedom. As long as you want that, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what educational status you have. I don't care if you gay, straight. I don't give a damn. The problem is that we within our community have people that do not want to work. They do not want to read. And now it could be in other communities too, but that ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about Black people. Do not want to work, do not want to read. They have been tricked into this fast life BS, this microwave crap where you put 5 words together that rhyme, and all of a sudden somebody from some record company drops $500,000 in your lap all of a sudden. You think this is real. And that's all you want. That's all you aspire to. You got some reality TV shows. People got straight up G-strings on the television. Sitting there. And this is the kind of life that a lot of our people, melanated people, want. And that's all they want. And like Dr. Thomas Sowell says in one of his books, I believe it's Discrimination and Disparities, he says, we cannot afford to continue to ignore the people who simply do not want better. It's to your detriment to ignore them. It is to your detriment to think that you can just say, oh, well, we all trying, but everybody's not trying though. Everybody's not trying. If we're playing tug of war and you on my side and you just give up like y'all pull the thing, y'all pull the thing. At least put your weight on it, bro. Come on, man. Help me out. The problem is that we have to begin to separate or we will drown. Period.
Yeah, so I mean, I think what you said is perfect because there has been a divide, right? And a lot of us don't like to acknowledge it, but we are at a place where it's literally between good and evil, who wants and who doesn't want. Like, we're there already. So like you said before, and it's so true, we have to get to a place where we understand that. But really trying to change people's minds and what has occurred in our community is so extremely difficult, right? And the State of the Union, he mentioned nothing for us because he has no plans on doing anything for us. I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but there was a clip that surfaced where he was on a Zoom call with other melanated people and he told them, I'm not going to do anything for you. Get with the Latinos.
You better get with the Latinos.
You better get with them. They're a group of diverse people and you better figure out your life. He's already told you. He's giving millions of dollars to every other community but the melanated community. Why? Because he understands that if you have wealth, if you have capital, guess what? You're going to flourish. If that isn't a sign of racism and his true intentions for you, I don't know what else is going to be. There's a reason why they did away with the 40 acres and a mule. Why? Because if you actually have a stake in your land and in society, that means prosperity. How do you keep somebody from moving forward or actually gaining in this lifetime? Keep them dependent on the government. Keep them dependent on the welfare system. You guys remember when Obama was in office? He gave you guys more food stamps and more welfare. That was about it. The same thing with Joe Biden. More food stamps and more welfare, so you're continuously dependent on the government with no real plans to do anything for you. When it comes around to the 4 years, they're going to pander to you, and then after they get done pandering to you and they get back in office, that's it. It's a wrap for you. The same thing that we have seen time and time again continuously happens, and we have not learned from that, and it's unfortunate.
And Bria, you are 100% right, because even though you've had such a boom in entrepreneurship in the Black community, you see what they've done now. Oh, we coming for your PayPal accounts. Oh, we coming for your Cash App accounts. All of a sudden, what the hell are you coming for these people? Because as soon as you start being prosperous, you start having, especially if you're entrepreneurial in your progress. We got to come cut you down, because then that means you're finding independence. Cannot have that. We need codependency so that we can control you. But if you become independent, you own your own land, you toil your own land, you have your own home, you take care of your own children, then you no longer need to be governed. You are self-governing, standing on your own square. Hello, somebody. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what they're doing. So as soon as you start trying to, you want to sell shea butter, or you want to sell some cookies, or you want to sell some hair products, or you want to do voice lessons, or you want to teach it. We coming for your accounts. Now we're going to, why are you taxing people's accounts, Democrats? For what? In what way does this $2,000, $5,000, even $20,000? What are you doing? What? So you're basically saying, I want you broke at the knees, because as long as you're dependent on the government, I can tell you what you can and cannot do.
Just to piggyback off of both of you guys, I was always told that Republicans are for the rich, the Democrats are for the poor, the working man, which we all know is bull. But when you actually look into it, when they start talking this rhetoric about taxing the rich, and we're going to tax the rich and all this, the rich is actually you. The rich is us. The rich, and why is that? It's that because when you break out of this welfare government controlled system, you become uncontrollable, pretty much just like you said, Megan, where you become sovereign, you become independent, you don't need the government. So when you break out of that system, you start to vote Republican, because you see Republicans are for you having that independence. The Democrats are not for you having independence. Democrats are for you relying on them and big government. And as we can see with everything that they're pushing big government. When Joe Biden starts talking about the right to vote, I don't know when this started in terms of some people thinking that maybe they just can't go up the street and vote somewhere, but nothing's stopping me from voting. But what he wants to do is take the power away from the people and give it to the Fed, so that way it is controlled and they can control who is elected, or more so selected. So it's always been a big push for big government. And if you're just going to look at the two parties, you can look at Republican and Democrat and see principle-wise who is for freedom and who isn't.
All I want to say is Trump was trying to help us, when he was in office. He gave us opportunities. He gave us grants. He gave us leeway to get the loans and et cetera that we needed to start these businesses and entrepreneurship. And what did Biden give you? Free crack pipes.
In a nutshell, huh?
Line them if you got them.
I mean, and it's like, as far as what Megan was saying, it's like, it's perfect. Like, we can't bring everybody. Why? Because let's just say they start busting down doors. You think they're going to protect your black ass, your so-called family or your so-called friends? You think they're going to protect you? No, they're going to be like, he right in there in that closet up there trying to hide. Yep, he right up there. They're going to point you out like a mother. And I just feel like right now, if you can't see that we're being under attack, yet you want to still watch this reality show, you still want to listen to the ignorant music, you still focused on doing all the that you were doing prior to the pandemic, you are part of the problem. And it's like, we need to start figuring out people who want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Like, those are the times we're in now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
One thing you also mentioned, Megan, was nobody's wearing a mask. And that brings me to my next point, is that I started to think about it, and I said, well, if you're going to go with the war narrative, you kind of can't use CV at the same time, because it kind of kills the whole narrative. Like, people going to war with masks, you know what I mean? If you already going over there, let's say, to die, then you're not worried about this. So they kind of have to pull that back in order to put something like this in, which is what I was thinking about. So my question to you is now war being the new narrative, what's your perspective on this, in the sense of moving away from one boogeyman to another?
Yeah, so this is what I think. I think it's just a distraction. to be honest with you, because as this is going on, you know, there's a squirrel. That's what I call it. That's what I call this war. Oh, there's a squirrel. Oh, a squirrel. You know, that's all it is. It's just an ADHD. Oh, you know, that's all it is. You see a piece of lint go by, and then all of a sudden you're looking at that. As this distraction is coming about, they are still passing passports. They're still jab passports, juice passports. They're still passing laws that you have to have. And this guy's gonna sit up there at that podium and say out of his mouth, he's gonna sit up there and say, well, you know, I can't promise you another variant is coming, but if it does, we will make sure that we're ready for it. So what you're going to do is you're going to pass these laws behind people's back in the middle of the night, like you always do. You're going to pass these laws for vaccine passports. And then when another variant is, you know, is conjured up, then you're going to really lock people down and say, oh, well, you don't have your passport. Oh, you didn't get your booster. Oh, you didn't get this. Oh, you didn't get that. So it had gotten to the point where there was so much evidence against what's been going on, against the jabs, against the juice. They had to pivot. They didn't have a choice. Too many people were getting smart. Too many people were like, okay, look, now come on now. The numbers are down. Come on now. You're starting to find out that this is this, and people are having adverse reactions to the juice, and da 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 da. Like, come on, somebody got to tell me something else, because the fear is gone. The fear is gone. So tell me something else. And it was just starting to get out of control. So now you have to say, oh, okay, well, let's give you something else to be afraid of. Now let's give you World War III. We'll give you that. So then we can just make sure that we keep you in a place where you're terrified of something. Because as long as you're scared, you can be controlled. Oh, now we got to worry about Putin come over here and doing something to America. The only person that I think should be concerned about Putin is Biden. Because if I was Putin and I had a red button, I tried to use mine too on that son. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about it for my personal self. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Because me and Putin, we don't beef like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no beef with him. Okay? I don't know nobody. You know, the girl used to do my nails, she's from Ukraine. Okay? So I got a little something with the Ukraine people. But me and Putin, we don't beef like that. But Biden, the way he be talking out his mouth, you know, he talks reckless. He talks real reckless. So, you know, I don't know. If he got some missiles planted over there at the White House, I don't know. I'm not involved in all of that. But, you know, me and Putin don't beef like that. So I ain't afraid.
Yeah, so I've always said that if you can cripple a nation with fear alone. And we saw that during the pandemic, how many people were willing to give up their freedoms based off of them being scared, and they pushed the whole narrative that you're going to kill your grandma and so on and so forth. So people literally gave up their rights. And you literally see people now offering up their own children on the altar of this new world order. I just think that it's all really a big precursor, and it's never going to stop. There's going to be one pandemic after another, and then there's going to be another variant after another, and then there's going to be World War III, and they're going to be scared that China's going to invade America. It's always going to be something. It's never going to end. We're nearly 2 years, 2 years into this thing, and they still don't have an end in sight. My worry, though, more than anything, is not outside elements. It's really the American government. And this is something that I talked to somebody about. I said, we think that our biggest threat is China. When in fact, our biggest threat, just look at Washington. It is right there in front of our face as we speak. The best thing for us to do is to turn off CNN, is to turn off the news and stop listening to them. All these things that they're talking about are simply mandates. They are not laws. But as they have us focusing on Ukraine, they are trying to pass laws so it can be, so that they can hold us to it. Because a lot of us say, hey, these are mandates, they're not laws. But guess what? It's true. They have us looking at Ukraine, and guess what they're doing? They're sneaking in laws. That way they can keep us in bondage. They want to rule over the American people with an iron fist.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, agreed.
And when he started talking about, hold on, when he started talking about those potholes in the road, I almost fell out. I almost just passed completely out. Everybody and their grandma knows that we don't own our own roads. All the tolls that you pay when you go through a toll booth and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't go to American money. Our roads are owned by China, Dubai, and Canada, and all kinds of stuff. Everybody knows that. Then you talking about fixing potholes? Make the Chinese people fix their own damn potholes here. They own the daggone street. Have them come down here. Why are you taking our money to fix potholes? Listen, don't worry about my accent. I'll fix that. You need to make sure that we are not involved in some kind of situation that ain't got nothing to do with us, and you need to make sure that these measures are not turned into mandates and mandates not turned into laws. That's what, just like Bree just said. Y'all don't worry about the potholes. We got the potholes. We'll put some gravel in the potholes. Don't worry about it. It's this guy.
As far as all the masks and all that crap, I really think that was their guinea pig on the masses. They're just trying to see who is willing to comply, who is willing to go through with all this and accept it, for one. And, you know, it goes to show you that a lot of people started to adapt this and really make it a part of their life, where they're like, they don't want to do anything without a mask. Or if they see you and you don't have a mask, they want to step back from you like you have it. And something that I also noticed when we came out, what happened to the flu? What happened to the common cold? All those symptoms are now symptoms. And it's like, when a lot of people come to me and they're telling me, oh, I caught it, I'm like, nah, you had the flu or you had a cold. Like, please stop with this bull about, oh, I caught this, I caught that, I went and tested and got this. And listen, all that is conditioning us to believe this bullshit narrative for them to roll these things out. And I absolutely agree that, you know, this was definitely one of the biggest distractions. It's like this war, because California, this is why I'm trying to get out of California now, is because they're rolling out rapidly. Like they didn't hesitate. As soon as they lift the mandate, the mask mandate, they start rolling out this about this laws and actually putting it into play. Like, and I'm just kind of like, if we keep watching CNN and all these freaking so-called news stations, oh my God, we're gonna be in a place where we wake up and a damn near is gonna be a robot telling us what to eat, what to drink. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna get to that
You're
stage.
100% right.
And
You're 100% right. We're gonna be in the Minority Report. In that movie, Minority Report, where you got to be changing your eyeballs and all some kind of weird stuff. It's gonna be like that.
Absolutely.
So since we a little pressed on time, I want to get through a couple of people's questions that they have for you down here. So you have a question from Torium. He says, your opinions on Nancy's weird knuckle rub response to Burn Pit.
So this is what was going on during the State of the Union address. The people were not giving any type of genuine reaction. There was no genuine reaction throughout the whole thing. This is why you saw so many people standing up, and then they were like, oh shit, nobody else is standing up. Or you saw people starting to clap, and they were like, oh, not time to clap. They were told basically clap all the time. One person starts clapping, everybody joins. Well, it's like being at a, I don't know if you've ever been to a recording of a TV show. They put applause, you know, like they show you applause as they tell you when to applaud. You can hear recorded laughter, you know, recording, laughing, stuff like that. So that's what was happening. So when she stood up, she actually wasn't really listening to what Biden was saying. She just thought it was a good time. She thought that this was one of the triggered times to stand up, but she messed up. So she didn't want to look like an idiot because she had already stood up. What her stupid ass should have done, she should have started clapping first, then stood up. Then she wouldn't have embarrassed herself. But she stood up first, and then she realized nobody else is clapping, and this is not an appropriate time to clap because he hasn't even really said anything good. You're actually getting ready to clap at something very bad. So then she was like, oh. because she messed up. So then she had to kind of buy her time to wait to see, like, oh crap, when are you going to say something that is clappable? So let me just stand here and look like a little gremlin or something, you know, and be like, oh. And then she ended up embarrassing herself because the entire time, none of that, except when he talked about the little kid who they're saying is a child actor, when they're talking about the Ukraine administrator, and there might have been a couple of actual genuine things that people were actually clapping on, but the entire time it was just people clapping for really no reason. There was nothing really for you to be clapping about.
I agree with that. That's pretty much what I saw. I saw a bunch of make them happy. I'm just like, yeah, there's no way they're genuinely clapping for this guy. I mean, no one in their right mind would. There's no accomplishments that he had.
Right, he didn't say anything. He didn't. It was all a campaign speech. So I don't understand why they were clapping. I mean, obviously, I understand why they're clapping. They're clapping because they're trying to make you think that it was a good speech. But when usually at the State of the Union address, you are telling people what you've already done based on the campaign that you run. You are telling people what you've done in the year for the campaign that you won, the promises that you made, and then you are going to tell them what you're getting ready to do moving forward. That's what that's usually that's for. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. This guy is just running a whole nother campaign, and if you think I'm gonna vote for you, I didn't vote for you the first time, but if you think I'm gonna vote for you again, shame.
Okay, so the next question is the hike on gas prices all on purpose to make cars all electric so people would have to depend solely on the government?
Absolutely. And see, it's everything is about some type of control. Everything is about some type of control. You got Bill Gates changing the seeds so that when you grow something, it only grows one time and it won't reproduce more seeds again and again. You think it's a freaking coincidence that your watermelons ain't got no seeds? You think it's a coincidence that your tomatoes ain't got no seeds? You think it's not a coincidence. It's so that nature cannot replenish itself. Thus, you being reliant on something that is being made that you have to buy from a lab or whatever, so forth and so on. If they can take seeds out of a vegetable and out of a fruit, they can definitely put into the fruit and vegetable whatever they want. Okay? So they now all of a sudden, it's always been about oil, it's always about oil, but now they're talking about, well, we need to get more money for electric cars. We need more electric cars. Why? Why do we need more electric cars? You don't need more electric cars. Electric cars for what? So that you can control the car. Let me tell you something. I have a couple of cars, but one car in particular, I have a 1997 car. I'm just going to tell you that. It's a classic car that I refuse to give up. I don't even drive it. It's in the garage, covered up. Because when I'm ready to go somewhere, you ain't finna turn my car off and locate me and all this other kind of old crap. Yeah. I'm not doing that. Y'all want to be in all these fancy cars that drive themselves and all that stuff. Look, if you too sleepy to drive, pull your ass over. Why are you going to get in a car that's going to drive you and you over here playing patty cake? I just saw some commercials, some people playing patty cake inside the car. For what? If you can't drive, pull over. It has never been good. Any movie that you watch, iRobot, Minority Report, The Terminator, I mean, just go down the list, the chick, Matrix, all the rest of it. This never ends well. Even if you want to go all the way back to the movie The Net, when they were using the computers to change people's identity, and she all of a sudden her house was sold and changed her name, and now she's a prostitute, and the police was looking for her. This never ends well. When you give this much power over to people and give this much power to technology, it never ends well. If you think Bill Gates has gone on some kind of vacation in Mars and is not coming back, you're very sadly mistaken. He is a monster and he wants what he wants. This little pandemic we had for a couple of years, you think he's done? No, he's not done. He's not done. He's not done at all. So you better get your quick, fast, and in a hurry.
You have another question by Shay Dixon. Do you believe that Trump will be reelected?
To be honest with you, I don't know. That's a long way off. You know, Biden only been in office 1 year. So we got 3 more years of a bunch of funny business that they can do. There were a lot of theories that said this last election is going to be the last election.
Yeah.
That Pelosi and Waters and the Bidens and all the rest of these people are going to switch the laws around and change the Constitution so that you cannot vote someone in again. I don't know if there's going to be separation within the United States. You know, maybe there will be the red side and the blue side or something like that. I don't really know. And if Trump is reelected, which I hope if there is an election that he will run, but if he is reelected, I think that they are going to have some things already in place that will be so strong that he won't really have any wiggle room to get some things done. I think that they're just going to really make some terrible laws. So I really don't know. I hope, you know, and he's not a young man, you know. So but if not him, then somebody will definitely come in and make some things happen. But if you know about the United States, everyone is selected. There is no, we got lucky with this Trump situation. He has the same bloodline, but he's a black sheep. I don't know how many other same bloodline black sheep there are.
Not many.
You know, on that note, me and Bree were actually talking, I believe it was yesterday, a couple of days ago, that more of us, as in regular, ordinary day people, need to be more involved in our local elections because there's, for example, in California, there's no reason why Gavin Newsom should still be here. The people that are paying him off and he's connected to, they're all evil, all of them. And there's not enough of us actually being involved in this because we're sitting down and we're watching TV too much. You know, we're hoping someone like Larry Elder comes in and all this. And Bree, I'll also let you expand on this as well. But I wanted to know what you thought about that. But I'll pass it over to you, Bree, to top that off.
Yeah, so what really triggered me in this whole thing, and I kind of grew up with this like mentality, especially as believers. I don't know if you guys grew up in a believing family. They have this mentality that you should separate yourself from the worldly things and you shouldn't be involved in it. And it's very unfortunate that we think like that because the reason why we're in the state that we're currently in is because we have allowed evil to reside over our school boards. That's the reason why we have CTR. That's the reason why their kids are learning about transgender and gay rights and all this stuff. And they're literally brainwashing our kids. You now have 8-year-olds, no joke, an 8-year-old is learning about pornographic material. Why are they learning about that? Because we sat back and said, you know what? I should have nothing to do with this because for some reason, I don't know, it's ungodly to have something to do with politics. So we sat back on it and now what? Look at our kids are being brainwashed and they're so confused growing up. Now we have a president in the White House that is passing out crack pipes and there was 3, I think 12-year-olds in the bathroom smoking crack. This is what happens when you don't take control. This is what happens when you don't have a voice and you don't have a stake in your society. Evil never corrects itself. It just gets worse. All evil needs is a crack. And once it gets that crack inside of your world, it's over. While we were all looking at Ukraine, they were literally trying to pass a law where you can have an abortion at 9 months. 9 months. Think about that. Think about the state of our elected officials now. Like they want to be able to give women the right to give birth, and they have a time period to where they can decide between them and their doctor whether they want to kill a living baby. A living baby. But
That's murder.
this is what
That's murder.
happens when we're not involved. And I told people, I said, this type of mindset that we can all just kind of like go off into our own world and start creating our own society, and they'll never bother us and they'll never come for us, is wrong. They're coming for us. We can create our own lands, our own vegetables, our own crops. We can do it all, and I suggest you do. But this idea that we can completely detach and they'll never come for us is wrong. They're coming for us because they want control over us. Why do you think they're starting our kids off so young? You know, the mass literally desensitize our kids. If you're
Yeah.
desensitized to human touch, seeing a face, when somebody gets killed or somebody gets murdered or somebody gets sent off to a concentration camp, you're not going to think anything about it. You're not used to human interaction. You're not used to feeling the warmth of a human body.
Big
So
facts.
all of this stuff is strategic on what they're doing, what they're teaching. Social distance, don't get close to anybody. Like, you're completely disconnected from human life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so
I
I'll go ahead and
just
pass it over to you guys because I can go all night long.
I just wanted to mention one thing when we're talking about the kids. Me personally, my sister just started coming around to that idea that we shouldn't be teaching kids about their sexual identity in school right now, right? Because my niece is been a product of that, and that hurts my sister. But this was something I was trying to get her to understand, because these kids still don't know exactly what identifying themselves actually means, because it's a sexual preference. You can like boys or girls, right? And then not be sexual. But people are getting brainwashed to think that no, that's not the case anymore. And they're brainwashing our kids to start sexualizing things at an early age before they even get introduced to sex in its essence. So I'm just, as far as the kids, that really hit me in a soft spot, because it's not even just my niece, it's just other people that I know, their kids are going through this transition as well. And I have been able to talk and actually get an understanding of their mind and how they view it, and they really can't process it the way that it's actually supposed to be processed. So that's how I know they're manipulating the kids, and they're just trying to control them to whatever narrative they want to push moving forward.
Well, it says train them up in one way and they will not depart from it, when they get older, because that literally is the root and the foundation. And so that is 100% what they're doing. And, I was raised in a Seventh-day Adventist home, thus very, very strict, very, very Christian home. And, we were always taught separation of church and state. But then you're starting to realize that there is no separation of church and state. The church is so involved with the state, it's not even freaking funny. If the state says jump, the church says, well, how high? It's absolutely incredibly ridiculous and disgusting that you would use or try to use a God and religiosity and the Bible and Jesus and to try to maneuver these things around. The governor or mayor or whoever that hooker is over there in New York gonna sit up there and say this vaccine was given to us by God, or some crap she said, something like that, wearing some cross or something. I said, you got to watch the devil. You got to watch the devil, boy, because the trick is for you to be so just kind of wrapped in God's glory that you really are not paying attention to the angel next to you, who's really a demon. You're not paying attention because you're too busy. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, well, the Bible says over this and that, but you're not even really reading the Bible. You're definitely not comprehending what's going on at all. I don't understand how you can say one thing and you can sit up here and tell me about the end of times. You can sit up here and tell me about the right to buy and sell. You can sit up here and tell me about the different Sunday laws and how they're going to remove the Bible completely from the earth and this and the other. You say that in one instance, and then you say over here, well, if you don't get your vaccine, you can't come for Christmas dinner. Huh? I don't understand. That don't make no sense, what you just said. So the problem that I have found is that so many hardcore people in the church are so deeply rooted into the church that they're not thinking. They're not thinking for themselves. They're not comprehending what the Bible actually says and what it actually means. And thus, there really is no separation of church and state anymore. It's just state church or church and state or whatever.
Yeah, one and the same pretty much. They're all cohesive together. They all go together. It looks like we're not gonna have time to get to the video questions. We're already pretty much at our end for the hour. Yes.
What video questions? What you got? What do you mean video questions?
Well, we would have people come on who want to interact with you and ask questions that way as well, other than just in
Okay,
the,
let's do 2 of them. Okay.
Okay, let's do 2.
I'm gonna step off.
Do 3. Okay, bye, LJ.
All right, I appreciate it.
It was so nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
You're awesome. Keep hope alive, brother. And
Yep.
listen, I need to say keep hope alive because Jesse Jackson, but you know I can still say it. So anyway, stay strong.
All right, I got
Stay
you.
strong and don't think so much about getting out of California as you want to think about, I want to be somewhere where I can live my purpose to the best of my ability. I want to be somewhere where I can be used by, by the universe, by the light, by the good. Because if you hate where you are, then you're putting out the hatred. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to do that. You want to put out what you want to bring in. So regardless of whether you're in California or you're in Texas or you're in Arizona or whatever, don't hate where you are. Just continue to project where you want to be, because that's how you're going to get there much faster. Make sense?
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you. That was beautiful said. Thank you.
Before you step off too, LJ, I just want to do a little quick promo for you because you released a new single. So anyone who likes music, follow LJ. He's got new music out and coming out. So
and we don't have to talk about all the violence and killing people and all this. We're just talking about living our best lives. That's what I promote. I promote for people to live their best life and go after what you want in life because, they're trying to take away our freedom. And I want us to all have freedom. And I believe that as an artist, it is our job to promote that to the masses, especially if you're going to be on these streaming platforms. You want to have the right message out there for the people. So I appreciate it.
And somebody said your music slaps, and it slaps.
I agree.
Good. Bars. Awesome. Okay, I gotta check you out too. I gotta check you out. All right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, LJ.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
All right, so you guys send your requests. I believe I already have some, but Megan says she's down to do 3. So
yeah,
I asked you guys, please keep this between about 3 to 5 minutes. I know that you guys probably have a lot to say, but we don't have enough time for all of it, unfortunately. So try to get to the point, ask your question for her, keep it between 3 to 5 minutes so we can get other people on here as well. Before we do get to
1 and 3 minutes.
1 and 3. Okay, she asked for 1 and 3.
It don't take you 5 minutes to ask a question. You ought to already know what question you're going to ask.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Sometimes they just can't land the plane.
Hi, you guys.
Hello.
I can't believe it's actually on video. This is my first ever Instagram appearance on any kind of video in terms of being live.
Snap.
But I love your work, Megan, and I've been enjoying the conversation with you guys as well. I'm just, getting tuned into you guys for the first time. My question is about, Megan, I know that you're on your spiritual path as well, and you're helping others with your meditation and your app and everything. So the question I have for you, Megan, is in terms of where we're going as a society, moving towards the future, moving towards the metaverse and all of that, how do you feel that this new platform, this new technology could possibly affect us in an adverse way, in an adverse way in terms of getting us away from our human connection and getting us farther away from our connection to source? Because I feel like the way the society has been going as of late, obviously we are there's a lot of work and a lot of room for improvement. And I just feel like with the society, with all this mass psychosis and everything going on, I think it could be a detriment to our society, just releasing this metaverse out like right now, especially in the middle of everything that's going on. It's just, that's my perspective.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your opinion on what you think the metaverse and how it could possibly affect society.
Well, I think you answered it perfectly, and very nice to meet you, and very nice to be here on your your reveal. So when you begin to study human nature, the mind, the spirit, the body, the physiological body, you find out how closely we are related to the earth, the elements, the vibrations, nature, natural cosmos, the stars, the moon, where it sits here, the sun, the rotation, and all this other kind of thing. All the things that the church people don't want you to know about. But anyway, and so when you start to really understand that, you understand the manipulation and the control that happens when you are separated from that. This is why they say when you want to ground yourself, go outside and walk barefoot to ground yourself, or sit next to a tree, or hug a tree, or ring certain bells. You can listen to different hertz and different vibrations and frequencies to get yourself realigned. But if you are constantly watching television and listening to these frequencies that are being played in this reality TV show, music that with your conscious mind you cannot hear, but your subconscious can hear it, just like a dog can hear a sound that you cannot hear. This actually is possible and is happening now. And so you're getting further and further away from your natural state. In Ephesians, it talks about how bringing yourself back to where you were before, bringing yourself back to your God self, bringing yourself back to the connection with spirit, with your higher self, with the one source. And so all of these distractions, all this noise, all this carrying on is just draining us from being able to tune into the actual true sound of God, the true sound of light, the true sound of good, the true sound of alignment. Is just bringing us all out here. So you're just hearing all these different voices and legions and stuff like that in your head. So you're 110% right. All these different virtualities are, I mean, there's some very, very good ones, and some of them are needed. But a lot of this is just, people getting married on the metaverse, all kind of carrying on. Come on, man. You ain't never seen you ain't never really seen her in real life, and you gonna marry this. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just a bunch of filth and foolishness that is not natural. But people want to say, oh, well, this is the new natural or the new normal. Well, there is no such thing as a new natural. There is natural or unnatural. That's just the way it is. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you guys, and thank you for the work that you're doing. I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm going to leave it open for somebody else. Thanks for taking my question.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Technology's taking over. This is what they want. So there's no jobs being created if you're giving it all up to robots.
Right.
You can't call Verizon. You're creating jobs
for robots. Who freaking cares? You counting those? Like, come on, bro.
Exactly.
I don't understand how he said that he's creating millions of jobs. I don't see people outside working. They got robots doing window washing now in the high-rise buildings. So where's the job creation? I see less and less people everywhere I go than I do more people. So I don't understand what the job creation comes from.
I don't either. I mean, everything he did was a reverse from Trump, and Trump actually was creating jobs. So there's no possible way that can even be a thing if you're paying attention. If you're not and you just watch TV, then I'm sure it sounds great to you, but that's not the reality that people are living in. You know, not even just in this country, but all over the planet. It's not like that. So Megan, I wanted your opinion on what you thought about, the ordinary people, if we want to call us that, that aren't too involved in all that. Do you think we should be getting involved in these local offices? No, you have to.
You have to. Like Bree said, you absolutely have to. This is hands on, all hands on deck time. This is not, it should have been hands on deck a long time ago, but you got to put all hands on deck. You cannot sit back. I just had a conversation with one of my clients. As you guys know, I do therapy and counseling for so many people. I'm just so grateful to be able to do that. And you can email me at Megan. Well, just go to my website, MeganMcGlover.com, for therapy if you want to do a consultation or whatever. Anyways, and I was just talking to one of my clients yesterday. She, her daughter had gotten into a fight at the school. The girls, bullying her. 3 girls bullying her, and they pretty much jumped her or whatever. So she had to defend herself. So they're talking about they're going to suspend her daughter. This and that. I said, teacher. And she's like, well, I'm just waiting to hear what they're going to say. I said, no, you don't wait for anything. Wait for what? There is no wait. I said the problem is that parents today are not like my mother. See, my mother back in the day, she going straight to the school. Is there a problem? Is there a problem? Oh, well, Mrs. McGlover, we're not ready. Well, you need to get ready. You pull my daughter out of class, you did this and the other. You better have a reason as to why you did it. You better have that reason right now. Or put her back into the classroom, or I'm going to sue you, your mama, and this entire school district. Ain't nobody got time for that crap. I told her, I said, you don't wait when it comes to your children. You need to jump on it now. Let them know who you are. Stop being reactionary about everything. We cannot be reactionary about everything. It is now time for you to go. If you don't know who your local alderman is, you need to find out. And you need to go up to his office, her office, and state your name, your purpose, where you live, and this is what you expect from that alderman. And make sure that you're at every single meeting that they have. They usually have weekly meetings. They have it on virtual now. You need to go to every single meeting that they have. Make sure they know your face and know your name.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you are going to your local mayor's office. Everybody in the mayor's office, they ought to know you by name. They have to know who you are, what you need, what you want. You at your local police department, you need to go down there. You need to know who the sheriff is. You know who the chief is. You need to know who everybody is at the school. When they do any kind of school commission or whatever, you need to know who he is. Make yourself known. They're passing laws in your communities because you ain't saying nothing. You're not doing anything. You don't have to be a public speaker or all super elegant with your words and stuff like that. Just go up there and say, hi, my name is so-and-so. Hey, my name is Megan McGlover. I live in District 7, and I just want to make sure that the campaign promises that you said, that you were going to do it, and, I'm really depending on you doing what you said you're going to do. Okay, fantastic. Then you go up to the next person. They say, hi, my name is Megan McGlover, Sheriff Williams. Very nice to meet you, sir. And is there anything I can do to help the police with the crime? How are we fixing this? That's what you do. You get involved. Do not sit back and let these people take your tax dollars and just do whatever it is that they want to do. Yeah. Get involved. If somebody was coming to your house and saying, okay, well, I'm going to need $2,000. Okay, let's not be exaggerating. Let's say $500. If I need $500 a month, so let's say you're paying about $500 in taxes, probably paying more than that. But let's say $500 in taxes, state taxes, federal taxes coming out of your check, so forth and so on, okay? About $500 a month. I need about $500 a month, every month. Aren't you going to say, well, what do you need it for? No, don't worry about it, I just need it. Or are you going to say, well, wait a minute now, I'm going to give you the $500, but I need to know what you're doing. Like, what are you doing with this $500? You can't just come to my house and talk about, I need $500. You ain't my pimp. Like, what is this? Come on. And that's the way we really need to be looking at things. We need to get very literal with what it is that we're allowing to happen in our life. You need to be very literal with your money. Very literal with your time. Very literal with what's going on around you. Don't just allow things to happen. Make it known that you want this, and that for your money and for your space and your time and your existence in this world. Don't allow things to just keep happening to you. Yep. Make some things happen.
That's right. And
You
Yeah,
always
that's
want to
100%.
manifest money. You got everybody and their grandma got all these freaking workshops and shit talking about visualize your money. You bring your money in. See yourself with your money. Oh, it's all about the money. Got these freaking yogas and all this other crap talking about visualize. Why don't you visualize some freaking safety and shit? Visualize you being a part of your life. Being a co-creator with God. This is what we talked about on my meditations on Sunday when I do my live meditation. You need to be a co-creator. Stop letting things just happen to you and then you just react to everything that happens. Stand firm and say, this is what I'm going to create. This is what I want to do. This is what I want for my children. I am going to do this. I'm going to be strong and I am going to be hands on deck with my own life.
yeah.
So even with Biden in office and all this other stuff going on, and it seems like, oh, we just don't have any control. You do have some control. If you are still alive, you still have control.
Yeah.
Now, what you're going to do with what you have, well, that's a whole nother question then.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if I could say something really quick, I tell people all the time, two things can be true at once. You can be a believer in Christ and be gentle and loving, and you can also fight. Those things are true. There's a reason why David went and he slayed Goliath, because there are times in your life where you literally need to slay the giant that is opposing you and that is going to cause death to you and your family. Our children are literally at stake. What we have a whole generation who is getting ready to suffer and will never know the freedoms that we knew. This is serious. Like, we should have been on this 4 or 5 years ago when they started this crap. We have children that will never know what it's like to walk outside without their 74th booster. That's where it's going to. There's gonna come a day where when you leave your house, you're gonna have to make 4 pit stops to take your pill, and on the way home, you're gonna have to make another 4 pit stops to take your pill as well. Our kids will never know what it's like to have human interaction, to be able to go outside, to walk in a park, to swim in a swimming pool, to speak to people like you and I without somebody having to censor them or to dumb them down because they don't agree with what they have to say. They'll never know what those things are like. This is where it's coming to. So like I tell people all the time, I said, it is crucial that we start fighting for our society. It depends on it. Like, start going down to your local school boards and when you guys get all your tax money and all that stuff, why don't you guys start putting all that money together and start campaigning? Start campaigning and be on your school board. Start campaigning and be your council member. Start campaigning and be your Congress. So when they start coming up with this crap, you can shoot it down, because guess what? You're on the board. You're going to make a safe environment and real education for your children.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Agreed.
You know, Bree, do you have any children, Bree?
Well, Megan, I don't like to talk about my personal life on Instagram.
Okay, good. Well, okay, well that's fine. Well, okay, so I don't have any human children. I have dogs, and so it always seems like people who, and so now my point is kind of null and void, but it seems that people who do not have children seem to cherish children. So maybe it's these badass kids that these people have. They're trying to get rid of these kids because parents are not fighting.
No.
I want more fighting from the parents.
No.
I want the parents to be more involved with these children.
Hi, how's it going? I was basically on that topic of with kids. I have a 6-year-old, and so the county that he's going to school in, they still mandate the masks and all that. And I know like some of the parents talk about like I've taken him on a few play dates where the moms are, they're annoyed about the masks, but only because they've already their kids, which is like, I think we're on the same page until they bring that up, and then I just feel like really isolated, like nobody is understanding I don't know, like all of this that's going on and how messy it is in California. And I know a lot of people talk about just getting your kids and moving out of state, but like for someone, I just feel like that's not really you know, like feasible, because you know I'm not with his dad, but his dad lives here, and I just, you know, I don't know how that would really like work out. But do you guys have any like suggestions about how to like just like your take on that?
So first, very nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on live, and thank you for being such a great mom to your kid. You know, we need more great moms like yourself. So if I'm hearing you right, is your question more so, or is your comment more so about the fact that the other moms, the playdates of the moms playdates, the moms of the playdates of your son, that they don't agree with the no mask, and you feel like an outcast because of the way that you feel? Is that what you're saying, or are you
I
saying
mean,
something else?
no, kind of like a combination. I definitely feel like an outcast, but you know, it doesn't bother me too much, except that other people are, I feel like it's your fault that we're still going through this, you know? But so the parents don't want masks because they've already vaccinated their children. But
So do they feel that kids that are not vaccinated, like your kid, should still wear masks? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, no, nobody knows about my son's vaccination records or anything. He's only in school here because he got, you know, I would hope nobody's watching, but he's, he
Okay, well,
has
don't
like a,
say it. Don't say it. Don't say it, because people might be watching. Okay, so here, this is what I want to say to you.
yeah,
This is very, very important. Okay, okay. This is very important in your life. Period. This
right,
is not just about this mandate measures, whatever. This is in your life. You don't need anyone to agree with you about you.
yeah,
You don't need anybody to agree with you about your son and the way in which you choose to raise your child.
right,
You're not in high school. You're no longer a child. So you don't have to be popular. You don't have to have friends. You understand what I'm saying to you?
right,
So I understand that you're probably alone. You may not have a lot of family. You may have made some choices or whatever. Your family is probably not happy with everything that you've done. So you feel like you're by yourself, but you are not by yourself. There are thousands upon hundreds of thousands and millions of moms who are standing up for themselves and their children just like you. You do not let these raggedy snaggletooth hookers bully you into making you feel like you're doing the wrong thing. That
right,
is your life and that is your child. And if they keep doing what they're doing, you're going to put me on a video and I'll tell them myself. I want you to stop feeling like you're doing something wrong when it's your life and your child. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You do not let these people bully you, and you do not let them make you question who you are. You understand what I'm telling you?
yeah,
You need to have some confidence about you. This is less about this situation and more about you. It's something about you that you're not confident in your own self. I can see it in your eyes. You need to take the time out to pay attention to you and to love yourself and to figure out exactly who you are and what is your purpose. Because then you can tell the rest of these people to kiss your ass. But
yes,
you have to make the time and forgive yourself for making a couple of 2-3 mistakes. It's okay that you made some mistakes. Forgive yourself. Do not have regret and do not have shame. You are not stupid. You are smart. Just because you're not a 40-something-year-old old-ass hooker does not mean that you don't know how to take care of yourself and you don't know how to take care of your son. You don't
yeah.
have to let these people tell you what to do with your life.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm telling you?
See, my concern is like just like I don't have me myself. I don't have like all the say. I can't. I mean, I send him to school without a mask. I tell him if you guys require a mask, then you should be providing one because I'm not gonna go keep buying him masks. But it's like, you know, it doesn't really like change anything. And my son knows, like he's very against it. He thinks it's dumb. He hates like that. You know, you go outside and you don't see people's faces. Everybody's scared to breathe the fresh air outside. but I just feel like California is just like going downhill, and I thought that there was kind of like some type of hope, but I feel like that's kind of like diminished over time.
Well, you don't need outside hope. That's the first thing. Okay? You don't need outside hope. Listen, I want you to write this down. The lady's name is Peggy Hall.
I know about Peggy Hall.
Are you listening to me?
Peggy Hall.
Okay. And her, that ain't nothing but the devil honking the horn like that. And her Instagram page is The Healthy American Peggy Hall.
Okay.
You understand? The Healthy American Peggy Hall. If I'm not mistaken, she's right there in California. But this white lady right here, she know what the hell she talking about. I don't know if she used to be an attorney or something, but she knows everything. She's got all the paperwork that you need, that you can file, religious exemptions. She's got all kinds of stuff. You need to contact find her page. The Healthy American Peggy Hall, Peggy Hall, Hall. I want you to get on her page today. She then has a website. She goes on the website. Then she has all these YouTube videos, and she tells you exactly what to do. She has YouTube videos specifically for parents. She has YouTube videos specifically for parents in California. She's got everything that you need so that you can build up your confidence, so that you do not have to be sitting up here feeling bad and then having these bullies try to bully you at the playground.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Well, we probably not going to be here, but we're too late.
Yeah, you're fine. We already went through all kinds of them. I want to say something real quick. Pass it over to Bree. I don't know if you want to do one more question.
No, I can't Megan. I got a client in 3 minutes. I told you I was long-winded. Okay. I got a client in 3 minutes.
We'll close out.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, and you take care of yourself and take care of your son, and drink your water and take your vitamins, and don't be worried about them stupid people. Stupid ass people.
I know.
All right, thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you.
All right, yeah. You took that home, Megan, and scored us about 12 points. So we're gonna close out because we know that we definitely went over our time a lot, but we want to thank everybody who, number one, who tuned in, number two, who asked questions for Megan. We want to thank Megan especially for joining us. We know you're a busy woman, but it's been a super duper pleasure to have you on. We are also going to do a panel at the end of the month. We're going to have Blanchard back on. That's my boy. So we would love to have you if you're available. And what we do is we have the guests that we've gathered through the month, and we have them join us for just like a final panel. So if you are interested in that, then just let me know. And
send an email to the same person you were sending email. Remember?
Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. I'll be right on it right after this. Bree, I'll pass it over to you for you to close out.
Yes, just thank you so much, Miss Megan. It was definitely a pleasure. Anytime you are on live, whatever you're doing, I'm there. You have my full support, and I do appreciate it. I was super excited about this. I'm glad I actually got to speak to you and have conversation with you. It's definitely an honor, so thank you.
Yes. You guys are wonderful. Go ahead. What did you say?
I was going to say, Megan, if you have anything coming up or anything you want to announce as well, feel free to do it here so people know.
I do have some stuff coming up, but I can't announce it just yet. But I do want you guys to go to my YouTube page, which is McGloverful, McGloverful, like beautiful McGloverful. There's a lot of videos there. My app is called McGloverable, so McGloverable. That's the app on all platforms. We do our live Sunday meditations. You can get the information for the meditation sent to you and be on our lives every single Sunday. I've been doing that for probably 2 years now, every Sunday. And I just want to encourage the both of you, and of course, LJ, when you come back and watch this a little bit later, encourage you guys, keep doing what you're doing. People, just like that young lady that just came on, are being affected by what you're doing. It is imperative that we see like you had said earlier, it was supposed to be the Democrats were for blacks and the Republicans for the rich whites or whatever. And now you're starting to understand that that is not the case. That is not true at all. I'm a conservative. I'm a conservative because I have conservative values and conservative views. It doesn't really matter about white or black or whatever. My values link up with conservatism. Okay, and so you can be breathe and be a conservative or a Republican or whatever you want to call yourself. You can be whoever it is that you want to be, and be able to identify with whatever political stance that is that fits who your morals and your standards and your character. And so, I don't know if maybe they'll give you a TV show. Maybe they won't, but you still have to keep going. I want you guys to keep going. Maybe you'll get 1 million views and it'll go viral or whatever. Maybe it won't, but there's going to be 1, 2, 10, 100, 200, 300 people that are going to watch your stuff, and you are going to change people's lives. You're going to save children, and you're going to change people's lives, and you're going to help people. So do not give up. Don't pay too much attention to the numbers. Don't pay too much attention to these stupid ass comments. Just make sure that you are in alignment with your higher self and with God and your beliefs, your standards, and your morals and your character, so that you can sleep well at night. That is what is the most important. So again, thank you so much for having me on here. It was an honor to be on here. I hope that I will have the free time to get on the thing at the end, the panel at the end of the month. And thank you everybody who came on and watched, and all the questions and everything. I'm so sorry that I'm not able to stay on here longer, but we've been on here for a little over an hour and a half, so I did pretty good. And I was able to answer quite a few questions. I did pretty good.
Yeah, you did actually great. You did amazing. I'm pretty sure everybody was really happy you got to engage with them, and that's the point of the platform. These are probably people who never really get the opportunity to have a voice, so we encourage people to do that and speak out. So everything you said, though, was beautiful. I mean, we love what you had to say today. We definitely take everything to heart, because you are somebody people really, really look up to. Some people who don't get that opportunity to speak. So we just want to wish you an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for blessing us with this live.
You guys, bye. God bless. God bless.